I actually can't believe what I just watched. The UCLA Bruins, the number one seed in the entire country, one of the most dominant teams I've seen in my time as a college baseball fan, just gets absolutely slaughtered in the college baseball tournament in their home regional. A team that was, had it was like 51-6, like couldn't lose a game in their conference, like beat up everybody, swept literally everybody possible, and their season's just over in 2 days. I can't believe it. So I'll provide a little context. Friday night, UCLA, number one team in the country. They take on St. Mary's, a team that, interestingly, St. Mary's actually did beat Oregon State, who was the top team in their regional last year. Regardless, look, I'm from the Bay Area. I live about an hour from St. Mary's. I've never been to a St. Mary's game. I don't know that much about them because they never are like that good. Like they scrape by the WCC. They barely made the national tournament. Like they beat USF twice to even make it to the tournament. And on Friday night they go out and they beat UCLA. And it was the first time a number one seed had ever lost their opening game. They beat them 3-2. I want to say it was extra innings. But UCLA just couldn't figure out anything. And that whole magic that they had kind of late in games, just they completely lost it. In St. Mary's, they hit a home run to go up in the ninth and then played good enough defense to get out of it. I mean, it was a huge deal, and St. Mary's all of a sudden kind of looked great. And then the next day, UCLA, they took on Virginia Tech. They actually struggled really bad, but they were able to get out of it late. And then Cal Poly ended up like smacking around St. Mary's, which set up a Sunday game of UCLA and St. Mary's and basically, the winner plays Cal Poly. And UCLA just didn't show up again. I mean, I just can't believe it. So yeah, I mean, flowers to St. Mary's. Unfortunately, I'm filming this. I don't know if they ended up beating Cal Poly yet or not. Like I'm just recording this straight after the UCLA game. But that's not really the point. The point isn't whether they win the regional, whether they don't. I mean, I think it's crazy regardless. Like St. Mary's has been great. Cal Poly, I picked them to be competitive in the regional after UCLA, but I think the main talk here is about UCLA, of course, with all due respect to St. Mary's. I mean, I don't get it. UCLA, like I mentioned, 50 wins. They slaughtered, Mississippi State and all these really tough teams out of conference. Couldn't lose a game for a long time. And it was kind of known that they struggled a little bit to mid-major opponents because they did lose to like UCSD and Santa Barbara. Like they lost a couple games like here and there that was like a little bit scary, but for the majority, I mean, they were just fine. I mean, they started Big Ten play like what 25-0 or something. Like no one could even, couldn't even touch them in conference play. They obviously did lose that one at home to Oregon, which was a big deal for the Ducks, and then UCLA ended up losing one on the road to Washington too. I remember watching that game as well. And it was pretty crazy too because it's like, whoa, like UCLA, like they've been so good all year. How are they just going to lose all of a sudden? But like we can't lie. I mean, it did make me a little bit nervous kind of going into Big Ten tournament play. But I mean, the second we got into Big Ten tournament play, in the quarterfinals, they were down to Purdue, I think in the ninth inning, ended up coming back and getting the win. I think it was a home run. Get it to Saturday. On Saturday, they end up hitting a walk-off against USC. Huge deal. Everybody's going crazy. Then on Sunday, they're playing Oregon. They get a hit by pitch on the final game, and all of a sudden, they win the Big Ten tournament after being down like in what felt like every ninth inning. Um, and it was just unbelievable that this team had been so good, had kind of their moment. But I mean, if you look at like Arizona, the Wildcats in basketball last year, they had their moment too, where they just, you struggle, but you still trust them in their moments, like even when they play bad, because you know how much talent they have. And UCLA, after proving it in the conference tournament, they can win in any scenario against any team. It's just like, how can you not pick UCLA? Now, I'm not gonna lie. I know probably the majority of people picked UCLA to win the national championship. Personally, I didn't. I picked Georgia Tech. They were kind of my team preseason. I love the roster. I think the roster's so stacked. I mean, UCLA's is amazing as well. But I kind of got good vibes for Virginia Tech. But I know pretty much everyone chose UCLA. The reason I didn't pick UCLA is because I was kind of nervous that something like this was going to happen, but I couldn't believe that it actually would. But yeah, man, I mean, these guys just the offense was so bad in the last couple weeks of the year. Even when they were winning their games in the ninth inning, like they just couldn't do anything. They're scoring 2 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs in games, which in college baseball is so few. Like they're just finding a way out of it. But it's just insane that they struggled so much in like the biggest moments, and throughout this entire weekend, they haven't been able to do anything on the bats. And I'm gonna shout out Easton Hawk because he's been such a good closer for them throughout the entire year. I mean, the reason that they do so well offensively is because they know that they have Hawk defensively to help them and make sure that nothing happens late. He's, I mean, one of the best closers in baseball, to be honest. But I mean, he really struggled this weekend. I mean, he couldn't throw strikeouts at all, and yeah, I mean, he pitched 1.2 innings today. He gave up 3 runs, obviously the runs at the end, but it felt like, the ninth inning, the 10th inning, there's just rallies going. And like, whether it's that or the home run on Friday, it's just like things are not working. And like, that late game magic that they had, just the offense, well, I guess their defense, but the other team's offense just started to just go crazy every game. And Hawk, I mean, obviously he's a great player, but man, like you got to step things up in the tournament because every team is just so elite. I feel for all of them, man. I mean, Rock Chalowski, obviously, everybody knows, what an amazing guy he is. I mean, you watch him play, he looks like he's the greatest teammate in the world. I mean, you can't help but feel bad for him. Will Gasparino, Roman Martin, all these guys, Levu, like they've all done so much for this team. And even Easton Hawk, like I mentioned, just like that's got to be just absolutely gutting. In front of your home fans, you're hosting a regional. It's kind of your best chance to win a national championship, and just getting absolutely like ran off your own field in your own regional against the 4 seed. It wasn't like Virginia Tech beat them. I mean, it was St. Mary's. I mean, I just can't help just to feel absolutely gutted for UCLA. But yeah, man, Cal Poly is taking on St. Mary's today. Kind of, right after this game, I believe, unless it's tomorrow, I think it's gonna happen right now. But yeah, what an unbelievable day for college baseball in general, but specifically for UCLA. It's the team I've watched the most this season. It feels like I turn them on every weekend. I probably do, to be honest. And I just can't believe, especially a Bay Area team that I kind of represent in a way. A team like St. Mary's is just such a small school that isn't even a baseball school. It's like it's basically as small as like my high school, like 3,000 kids that go to the school, and the fact that they're just dominating the number one team in the country, I just like I can't believe it. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna probably do some more reaction videos as the day goes on. There's so many crazy things to talk about in the college baseball world. But yeah, stay tuned for more, and shout out St. Mary's. What an unbelievable day.